what Allah wants from you to do, that is the obligation part. You need to fast, and then you need to be sadaqah fitr. But what is the expectation through these getting the all benefits of the month of Ramadan, all the blessings of the Ramadan, and then all the fasting, all these hardship and everything? Is there anything that Allah expected from us beyond these types of worships? Yes, truly it is here. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. And the final part, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. Can we call them, these are maybe some goals to be attained? I don't know, because in our classical literature we do not have that part. It is just, let's say, given. It is given that we understood that part, and it's okay. Okay, so three things are mentioned as a aim through Ramadan and fasting: taqwa, shukr, and rushd. Rushd looks like final step for us to attain, and then when we look at it is meaning of the rushd, as it was translated as you might be guided to the right path. Its meaning is more than the right path. It is true, it includes right path. Irshad, for example. Irshad means taking one and then guide that person to the right path, that is irshad, from the same route. And rushd looks like combines all the two previous steps. It is like step-by-step development of a person, starting with taqwa, and then the shukr, the quality of shukr, and then rushd. So what is rushd here? Let's quickly see this one. Rushd is making wise decision making. Again, in Islamic terminology, we see the term rushd in jurisprudence, where, for example, when a person is legally responsible for his or her actions. The answer is when they attain to the age of rushd. What is the age of rushd? Age of rushd is mental and psychological maturity age. It is 18 years of age. It changed, of course, in Islamic, according to from Shafi school, Hanafi school. Some says 16, and then some says 18, etc. But it is that age of maturity, psychologically and mentally, or intellectually. So, rushd is wise decision making. Prudent individuals make decisions based on careful thought and consideration. They weigh the pros and cons and think about the long-term effects of their actions. And then, secondly, rushd includes caution. Prudent people are cautious and avoid taking unnecessary risks. They are mindful of potential dangers and take steps to mitigate them. This is the meaning of the taqwa. Hoca Efendi says in Turkish, eğri yolun encamından sakınmak. What does that mean? Being cautious of the wrong way that brings us, right? Being cautious that if I do a thing, what can I get in return? Harm or the opposite. So being cautious of the consequences. Judiciousness, being prudent, involves exercising good judgment and making choices that are fair and reasonable. It is also in the meaning of taqwa again, at the first step. Responsibility. Prudent people take responsibility for their actions and decisions. They are accountable and reliable, ensuring that their choices benefit themselves and others. So rushd is, in its wider sense, is like wise decision making, and then being cautious and judiciousness and foresight. I believe I skipped foresight. Foresight, prudent individuals have the ability to anticipate future needs and challenges. They plan ahead and prepare for various scenarios. So the first step, what we have in the first step, the obligation. Whoever attains the month of Ramadan, let them fast. So this is obligation. And then what is expected from us when we hear this obligation? Taqwa, right? For example, it is the first step of being conscious of Allah. Taqwa is generally translated as Allah-mindedness, awareness of Allah, etc. Awareness includes that caution, judiciousness, and then the foresight. So taqwa is in Turkish mostly translated as fear. It is not just that fear, it is larger than the fear. It is being cautious, if I do, what happens? If I don't, what happens? Considering the next steps, considering the consequences for your benefit or harm. So then obligation came with the expectation of taqwa. And then next, Ramadan presented us not as an obligation, but as an opportunity, as an occasion that facilitates us or makes us easier to attain that taqwa. In classical way, we understand that only fasting is made easy. On the contrary, not only fasting is made easy. Ramadan is making easy not only fasting, but also to reach to the goals through fasting, reading the Quran, everything, whatever you are doing as a worship. Ramadan makes them all easier for you to attain to the end goal. Not just the fasting itself, but the fasting should be followed by an end goal. And then Ramadan makes all of them makes all of them easier for you, because, for example, Ramadan is an entire time span, comes with its own spirituality, in its own psychology, right? We feel different together with other people in the family, friends, everyone. Everyone is in the sense of entering into a blessed month. Everyone feels some kind of more revived, more energized, to do worships and everything. In that context, we feel easier to stay hungry all the day, but in the other days, even doctors, suggest us don't eat a lot, etc. For it is difficult for us to do it by alone, right, by ourselves. But month of Ramadan really makes it easy for us to think, not just stay hungry, but also contemplate on it, think about it, etc. Develop those ideas and everything in that. So Ramadan itself is a opportunity for us given by Allah to make all the end goals easier. And then these end goals, not just Ramadan framed and then constrained by the Ramadan. These end goals spread to entire life, being muttaqi. And then this Ramadan gift is, ended with, the verse ends with لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that we can be mindful of that gift. What does that gift mean for me, right? And let me give you the brief explanation of the shukr in Islamic understanding, or not just in Islamic understanding, the definition of shukr itself, by itself. Shukr has 3 steps. Recognition of a value. There's a value here. For example, this podium, and then given to me as an opportunity, right? I should recognize this first. There's a value here. And then knowledge, that in kuntum ta'lamun, if you only knew. So knowing and understanding that there's a value here, knowing the value. This is the first step. Okay, what happens when you know it? Of course, okay, there's a value, but Second step is is'an in Islamic literature. Is'an means to give it that importance, making it for yourself, taking care of it, or not being heedless. Okay, I don't care. Okay, there's a value, but I don't care. The opposite of it. Okay, you need to care that value. This is is'an, called is'an. And then the third step of the shukr is developing proper reaction to that value. Okay, I see a value here, and then I understand this is me, and then I just don't want to neglect it. Okay, what should I do next then? If I don't want to neglect it, if I don't want to say I don't care, but so what reaction I should develop? At least the most easiest thing, I should present my thanks to those who provided that opportunity, right? It is the proper reaction. Oh, thank you for this opportunity. And then whatever I should do with this opportunity, for example, they will deliver a good speech. That so shukr, responsive gratitude, is not just saying thank you. It is entire proper reaction to it. It could be with words, it could be with action, for example, right? Sometimes we do that shukr mentality reaction with our actions. For example, your toddler came from kindergarten, and then they taught them little things by paper, how to do little things by paper, and then materially it is very there is no value in it materially, but it's just piece of paper, and then it is just roughly done. But however, when that toddler presents that gift to you, what do you do? At least you smile, you show some reaction, right? And then what reaction creates maybe, or on the other side, more smiling, right? More happiness. So this behavior of shukr, thankfulness or gratitude, brings more. It is kind of unending sadaqah jariyah. When you do something good as a reaction, and then you get more and more better of it, right? So what happens when you neglect it? Your kid, your toddler present that little no monetary value thing to you, and then you just hugged him or her, and then you see the smile on their face. What happens when you neglect it? That face just, smile on that face just dies out, right? So you killed that value there. And then you can see that immediately the end result of your gratitude or non-gratitude, right? So gratitude is quality in human being, and given as a gift by Allah to humanity. And gratitude is very specific gift to humanity, gratitude. And then in modern days, personal coaches, psychologists teach us how important the gratitude is in personal healthy development, right? It brings happiness for both sides, not just the person being gratitude. The other side also gets a benefit of it. It brings happiness on both sides. And then here we are clearly expected of developing that gratitude, let's say, quality in us. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Allah gave Ramadan as a gift to us to get benefit of it, and then we should get benefit of it properly. That would be our shukr, right? Our best response for that gift. All right, and then finally, okay. In that passage, we saw three qualities are truly, clearly expected from us. I'm not adding those as a modern approach to Quran, etc. No, it is there from the classical time. It was there every time. But what? We just neglected it somehow. I don't know. It didn't enter into our literature of Islamic
jurisprudence somehow. They left later on for the Sufi people to develop those terminology. Where we see those titles, shukr, taqwa, etc. Where we see these titles, these articles in Sufi books, right? Do you want those words, of course, are mentioned in fiqh, jurisprudence books, etc., but they are not developed as the integral part of the Quranic teaching, right? So they left for the Sufi orders to develop those literature. However, it is actually the very, very integral part of Quranic teaching, and then we should include them, not just because we are Sufi people. It is because we want to understand the Quran in its entirety, in its own context, and in its wholesome, presentation to us. So we need to include that terminology. So goals are evaluation points. On the other side, while we are trying to attain to those goals through the fasting, Ramadan, prayer, and everything, you can think about everything in that. On the other side, we can use these as an evaluation point to the question that, am I doing my fasting properly? Yeah, am I developing that consciousness, for example, that taqwa, that quality of shukr in me, the quality of rushd at the end, psychological and then mental maturity. Am I properly entering into that invitation from Allah? What Allah said in that invitation. When my servants ask you, O Prophet, about me, we should ask about Allah. And then what we should hear from that question, for that question, I am truly near. We should hear this one. And then we should enter into that invitation, and then relation, of course. I respond to one's prayer when they call upon me. So Allah's ethics, akhlaqullah, is responding if someone asks from me. Responding, okay? So let them respond with obedience to me and believe in me. Perhaps they will be guided to the right way. We teach our kids some transactions to get them, develop that maturity in their lives. We give some money and then make that purchase, etc. for me. Do this and do that, for example, right? For what reason we do that transactions with our kids? To let them learn and then get mature as early as possible in life, right? That is the rushd. Okay? So, how generous Allah? Allah, first of all, reminds His own akhlaq. When my servants call me, I respond, so that you respond to me. And then give that into that interaction with me, so that you attain to that kind of maturity. Be that person to get in contact with Allah, in relation with Allah. Get that maturity, psychologically and mentally. So reach to that point. So this is how Allah, kindly teaches that way, and then asks us to be mature mentally and then psychologically at the end. It is a really beautiful way to put it. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِ عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِي فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. So then we can ask ourselves, am I doing my fasting properly? If I do not see any signs of being maturity mentally and psychologically, and then not seeing any signs of that understanding of shukr, responsiveness to any value, recognizing any value and then giving them proper care, and then developing proper response, etc. Am I doing this? If I'm not doing that, I may not be fasting properly. So these are evaluation points at the end. I'm trying to summarize it fastly. Plus, can we look for worldly benefits in worship? Yes, we all know that we do not do fasting just for health reasons, right? We do all worship for the sake of Allah. But however, these are not just empty actions. While Allah prescribing some obligations, He prescribed types of worships. So I don't want to say for Allah mindfully, but these are specifically designed obligations. Not just any kind of prayer, for example, is not just any kind of random act. Fasting is not just any kind of random suffering, right? Zakat is not just any random act of, foolishly giving, spending your money, etc. These are not random acts of worship. They have a design and purpose. So Allah make that obligations with a purpose and then with a benefit for us, worldly and otherworldly. Therefore, again, as an evaluation point, to ask ourselves, am I doing my worship properly? We should also look for whether worldly byproducts, some benefits for us are, resulting. For example, yes, I am not fasting only for the sake of my health, but if I am fasting, I should have that consciousness that if I am fasting properly, the way that Allah wanted, it should also be very beneficial for my health too. And then if I'm not getting that benefit, I should say to myself, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not fasting properly. So we can look for worldly benefits as well. Yes, again, they will not our primary purpose. However, they are benefits of the worship, even though they are worldly, but they are benefits included by Allah in those worships, and then we should get those benefits also, because they are gift from Allah. And then we should look for those, let's say, criteria or KPI in modern language. What is that? Key performance indicators, right? So we should look for those indicators, worldly and otherworldly. Inner quality or some health, some other reasons, for example. And part of my present was becoming, right? There are obligations and then expectations and then becoming. Again, the question, final time. When we are asked to fast, to do prayers, etc., whatever we do, are we expected to develop some qualities, some akhlaq in us? Are we expected? And then as we see in the verse, yes, it is truly there. We are expected, even though we never heard that God's expectation from you, but it is there. So, what Rasulullah used to do in his entire life, can we say that he was trying to perform prayer, he was trying to fast, or he was trying to be something? He used to do prayer, he used to give zakat, he used to do everything, but we don't say Rasulullah was trying to do fast in the best way, etc. But very most important question that a student shows that he or she is the best student when you ask the more important question, right? Aisha radiallahu anha, one of the most outstanding students of Rasulullah, asked that very important question to Rasulullah. She said, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا صلى قام حتى تفطر رجلاه. قالت عائشة يا رسول الله أتصنع هذا وقد غفر لك ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر. The Messenger of Allah, peace be blessing upon him, would stand in prayer for so long that his feet would swell. Aisha radiallahu anha asked, O Messenger of Allah, why do you do this when your past and then future sins have already been forgiven? He, Rasulullah, said, أَفَلَا أَكُونَ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Should I not be a grateful servant? So in his entire life, in his sunnah, he was trying to become something through those old acts of worshiping. And then that becoming should be also our goal. And then what was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam trying to be in his life? Abdan shakura. A servant who is grateful servant, let's say, finally. Thank you so much, and then I'm really sorry for going over my time. Probably I didn't leave time for any question and answer. I'm very sorry again. All right. Thank you so much.